Lightfoot is out. Vallis and Johnson are in the April runoff. Mayor Lori Lightfoot finished third in Tuesday's election with 16.89. Oh my God. You were the incumbent and you got 16.89 per. Oh my. Holy. We do not like her. Yeah, I know that. Just like Jesus Christ. I've never heard of this person. She's the mayor, soon to be former mayor of Chicago. God damn. I don't know. How's Paul Vaush doing, or Paul Vallis, or whatever? Former education superintendent. Right, okay. So, a background in education is usually a good thing. Grandson of Greek immigrants? I trust the Greeks. Led an effort to reform the school system, raise test scores. Oh, it seems he did a good job. Originated and supported a proposal to reallocate money earmarked for teacher pensions into a general operating budget. Oh, that's gonna make people unhappy. Vallis is the conservative? Okay. This guy's got a pretty long Wikipedia article. The month he launched his campaign, Vallis appeared at a fundraising event for Wake IL, a political not-for-profit that has been criticized for its anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. In August 2022, I thought Lightfoot was a progressive. It doesn't matter whether or not she's progressive. She sucks. In August 2022, Vallis condemned the group, saying, I'm a lifelong Democrat who spent my entire adult life fighting hateful rhetorical and hateful groups. His claim of being a lifelong Democrat was called into question by some who pointed to campaign contributions from prominent Republican donor Michael Kaiser and Chicago Board of Elections records listing Vallis as having voted in the 2022 Republican Party primary election. The Chicago Board of Elections later told reporters that Vallis had not voted in the Republican primary, and records showed him as having done so were due to a coding error. What? There was just a random error in the software that said, like, oh, this guy actually... It's not impossible, but that's... Okay. Vallis has centered his candidacy on the issue of crime. Oh, no. He's also promised he would extend both the length of the school day and the school year. And he's pro-school choice? Okay. He's the only white candidate on the ballot in the 2023 mayoral election. 7 of the other candidates are black and 1 is Latino. Okay. The candidate most likely to court the police and firefighter vote received the endorsement of Chicago's Fraternal Order of Police Lodge, which serves as the city's police union. Many view him as being a conservative or politically moderate candidate. He's received significant campaign donations from conservative sources. In 2009, he said he is more of a Republican than a Democrat because fundamentally he opposes abortion, and stated that if he were to run for office again, he would run as a Republican. He was claiming to be a lifelong Democrat when he's made statements like that in an interview. Okay. On February 23, the Tribune released a report on an investigation of Vallis's Twitter account, showing it had liked several tweets that used racist language, supported controversial police tactics like stop and frisk, or insulted the mayor in personal terms. Vallis denied liking the tweets and claimed his account had been hacked. Seems to keep happening, huh? You all can blame Lori Lightfoot for this one. She's been nothing but a disappointment to the people of Chicago, and it's not surprising that her incredible failure as a leader has led to a rebound in conservative alignment. Such an embarrassing incumbent vote. What has happened in Chicago? It's just Lori... Here, hold on. Okay, I'm going to say it, even if they'll cancel me for it. Lori Lightfoot is also a dumb name. Holy shit, it sounds like a default name you'd roll if you looked up elf names in a D&D campaign. That it's just wild that a person is called that. Cancel culture will not keep me from saying this true fact. First openly lesbian black woman to serve as mayor of a major city in the United States, and the second openly lesbian woman to serve as a major... What is this? Populous. This is a big Wikipedia page. She was president of the Chicago Police Board. Interesting. That's a halfling name? Ah, true. By summer 2018, Lightfoot had the highest funded campaign of any individual challenging the two-term incumbent Emmanuel. However, in the fall, Emmanuel dropped out of the race, and high-profile candidates like Gary Chico entered. Lightfoot picked up several endorsements. As close to the election as late January, Lightfoot's support ranged from 2 to 5% in polls. She surged in polls later in the race, consistently polling at or near double digits in surveys released. Huh. Oh, here's Lori Lightfoot meeting with Ivanka Trump, interestingly. SDL is posting a form link in chat for signing up for the DSA, which wouldn't be a bad idea because the Vaushite army might be able to have an outsized impact on proceedings in a delegate election, which is happening soon. Okay, I will say this. Lori Lightfoot's one term as mayor, beginning in like late 2019, did kind of set her up to fail because of COVID. Like, imagine winning a mayorship in an incredibly close race. You're like an upset candidate, and then like right after you take power, COVID happens. That's probably not great. As of June 17th, 2021, Chicago leads the nation in mass shootings. That's not good. Did anyone see that horrible clip on Twitter of that guy in St. Louis, loading a gun and just like executing a homeless guy really casually on the sidewalk? Like, just he spent a minute just sort of like standing above the homeless guy with his gun, and then he shot him. Well, some people saw it. Shouldn't do that. He had trouble loading the gun too. He was probably just high out of his mind. Public safety and police. In an attempt to eschew the spike in violence in Chicago, Lightfoot initiated Our City, Our Safety, under which extra police patrols were stationed in busy locations as well as in troubled spots, and free youth programs were organized by the Chicago Park District at about 100 locations. The free youth programs are a good idea. Lightfoot urged City Council to pass an ordinance within her first 100 days that would establish a level of civilian oversight in the Chicago Police Department. That seems nice. A lot of the stuff she's saying she wants to do are pretty good. Like, listen, Lightfoot launched a community policing initiative in June 2019. Later that month, she announced that the city's police department would not assist ICE raids, denying ICE access to the city's police database in an effort to protect the city's immigrant population from the threat of deportation. That's pretty cool. So what went wrong? As I understand it, she had a lot of good ideas, but I don't think she had the political will, the strength, or the conniving, like, do it dirty, get it done attitude necessary to make this stuff really happen. Like, all of the ideas were good, but ideas are easy. Having the right ideas is like, you can literally just go watch BreadTube videos for 5 hours, and it's like, okay, I now have a list of every good thing we can do in a city. The hard thing is knowing for a fact that implementing any of those ideas is going to be incredibly difficult. It can go wrong in a million ways. Like, it's incredibly tough actually doing that. And that's the problem. Like, it's not enough to know what's good. Knowing how to do it is the key. And yeah, Lightfoot did face a lot of opposition. That is true. In response to the pandemic, she created the Racial Equity Rapid Response Team. Cite clarification needed? What? Racial Equity Rapid Response Team. Somebody experiences a microaggression somewhere in Chicago, and a bunch of people in SWAT gear burst in through a skylight. On March 31st, 2020, Lightfoot announced she had secured 300 hotel rooms in the city's downtown to house first responders, which they could use so they did not need to go home and risk spreading COVID-19 to their families. That sounds really grim, but that's actually a really good idea. That's really nice. Having kind of like a professionally managed, like, like open like temporary housing deal for to like, you know? Yeah, it kind of sucks because literally like every single um every single thing here that she wanted to do was like based. We lived during those times wild. This was only a couple years ago. Then what's your problem with her? Well, like I said, she didn't actually get it done. Was the not getting things done her fault? Okay, guys, it's complicated. Hold on. Jesus. Look at this approval disapproval swing, man. Holy shit. On May 19th, 2021, Lightfoot stated she would only choose reporters of color for interviews on the occasion of her 2-year anniversary in office. Okay. This sparked considerable backlash, with many calling for her resignation, including Tulsi Gabbard. Judicial Watch sued Lightfoot on behalf of the Daily Caller, alleging Lightfoot violated journalists Thomas Catenassi's First and 14th Amendment rights. Well, that's dumb. Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Man, I like what's that Twitter account? End wokeness? I hate to say it, man, and I'm not trying to give them credit or whatever, but I kind of agree with end wokeness on this. If a white celebrity said this, she would be unemployed within hours.
And last but not least, who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am. Betting on black tonight.
5 years ago here at the Emmys, you told us that you were rooting for everybody black. Tonight, Issa Rae, who are you rooting for?
Everybody black. Nothing has changed. It will never change.
Just in fairness, it's a reaction to acting undervaluing POC, I think. No, listen, okay, the problem is, okay, I'm busting out my cunt right now, okay? My opposition to racial bias is categorical. Obviously, in like a utilitarian sense, like white supremacy is way the fuck more damaging than black supremacy in like rhetoric, but we should not be trying to like flip on our heels to have to justify why it's okay to do this, that, the other, you know? It's for one, it's politically damaging. What's with chat? I don't see the problem with black supporting black. Sapphic Arrow Ace. Really? It's not about black people supporting black people. It's that obviously, if a white actress was asked that question, she said, yeah, I'm just supporting anyone who's white. Immediately, that would be considered ultra racist, and it would be, even if it is more consequentially harmful because we live in a white supremacist society for white supremacy to be demonstrated over stuff that sounds like black supremacy. I think, especially in a professional environment, it's kind of weird to just like out that, you know? I'm not talking about jokes with your friends. I'm not talking about video essays where you have time to flesh out your opinions. We're talking about like politicians and celebrities just casually dropping rhetoric that is identical to racist rhetoric, but, you know, like flipped, I guess. What Lightfoot said here was explicitly racist and also like actually really bad. Saying that you would only hire non-white reporters for interviews of you is pointless. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't empower anyone. But it's like such an obviously politically damaging take. Can you reiterate to the chat that it's just bad optics? Even if it was just bad optics, this is a politician. Optics matter. But it's also not just that, you know? I don't like the idea that we automatically assume the best intentions whenever rhetoric that would be racist if the races were flipped gets uttered by black people, because we know for a fact that a lot of black people actually are kind of anti-white, and in a public space that's already so charged discourse-wise, we really shouldn't be leaning on these like controversial statements that have no benefit outside of inciting and propelling conservative reactionary discourse to no, like there's no point. There's no, I think it'd be fine if they said they were supporting a fellow Irish person, right? Yes, I think that would be fine. Because there is a difference between, like, ethnic preferentialism and racial preferentialism. Broadly, we categorically distinguish between these things. If a white actress who was Irish was asked who she's written for, and she was like, oh yeah, no wait, that's Scottish. Okay, fine, Scottish. And she was like, oh yeah, written for any other Scots in the audience tonight? Yeah, or whatever the they sound like. I don't think people would get super mad about that. That'd still be kind of weird. If they're an actor like known for being okay, if so Joe Biden is Irish, right? If Joe Biden made a joke, we're like, yeah, you know, oh, who's your favorite Mr. Biden, President Biden, who's your favorite Democrat in Congress, sir? I can't choose. No, just let us know. Are there any Irish? Yeah, any Irish ones. And then he leaves. Like, I think that'd be very different from him being like any white ones. Because in America, we don't really have a history of ethnic preferentialism when it comes to racism. In fact, we have a history of the opposite, where white supremacy is about erasing the ethnic history of white people within that category and embracing them as a kind of holistic, ambiguous white with no like tie or no like in-group separations. You know, white supremacy is about pretending there aren't ethnic differences between Brits and Anglos and Italians and French and so on and so forth. But I think it would be different if we were in like Serbia or something, right? Because like if it was like a Serb versus Albanian thing, and they had like the cross Kosovo, Albanian, Serbian, Balkan thing, and somebody's like, well, who are you supporting tonight? It's like, I'm supporting fellow Serb, and it's like, okay, well, Serbs just tried to kill all the fucking Kosovars, so like maybe we should dial that back a bit. It's a contextual thing. Vaush, we do have historical discrimination against ethnic whitehood in America, as you talked about it yourself before, like literally against people who are Irish and Italian. Irish and Italian people were discriminated against for being non-white because at that time they were considered non-white. When they got folded into whiteness, into the amalgam, the distinction ceased to matter. You know, it's not like white people in America have been racist against like ethnic groups in America that aren't white. You know, it's not like they're racist against Nigerians or whatever. It's black people. It's like a racial thing. The closest counter I could think to that would maybe be like the Chinese Exclusion Acts. But like obviously the dynamic has advanced since then, right? Like it's not as though like there's a racism against like, I don't know. Well, actually, with the COVID stuff, there was a kind of specific anti-Chinese racism, but even then, the retards who got mad at Chinese people because COVID happened don't know the difference between Chinese and Korean and Japanese and all other people. So, you know, it's kind of like how people were like hate criming Sikhs after 9/11, like they had anything to do with it. I don't know. Nah, this is a dumb take. What dumb? I just like rambled like 20 things. This? I remember this, man. Didn't I literally see this? Whoa. Fucking spoilers. Leaked.
What are white people superior at?
What exactly are white people superior at?
They're real good at violence.
Violence. Genocide. It's like stealing people's lives just because they feel like it.
If you are white and you know this is happening and you say nothing, then you're a killer too.
What exactly are
This video's years old, by the way. This video, this was posted a couple days ago. This video is years ago. This is what conservatives do. It's like it's old shit, you know. Like you make one video and they never shut the fuck up about it.
white people superior at?
Insecurity?
Pretending.
Fear. Being fearful of nothing.
Being ignorant.
Blame.
Letting their egos control their every move. Superior at being dicks.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Oppression.
Gaslighting.
Lack of empathy.
Intellectualizing oppression.
Are you not white? Never mind.
Oppression.
Did I say oppression?
What exactly are white people superior at?
Taking what's not there.
Taking shit.
Taking our ideas.
Copycatting.
Gentrification.
Appropriating things that do not belong.
Holy shit, the drip. Oh my god. Look at this. This is some crazy cool. Look at this hat. Dripping.
To them.
Taking over other people's cultures and making you believe that they invented it.
Maybe they're thinking of it as repurposing. It's like recycle and repurpose.
as my grandma would say,
recycle and repurpose, like what we do with this fucking video for years now.
them white folk, they'll take it if you don't copyright it.
They are very good at destruction of land, destruction of people, destruction of humanness.
Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're conservative, like white people are really good at upholding white supremacy.
How about claiming that, you know, they are actually a whole separate race, when actually white DNA comes from the black female?
I bet this person has really interesting views on mixed race people.
So what exactly are white people superior at?
Honey, lying, stealing, and cheating.
Manipulation.
Withholding information.
Lying? Telling lies.
All right. Well, yeah, I should have just left this one in the vent channel. This is rage bait. Yeah, it is rage bait. For sure. The question is just phrased incorrectly, but the sentiment is fine. No, the no. The question shouldn't be asked at all, okay? Like, there are problems with black culture broadly in America. If we are to refer to a thing and it is known as black culture, there are identifiable problems with it. I know it. You all know it. We know there are problems with what we would call white culture broadly. But if somebody was to ask me, like, what are white people, or sorry, no, what are black people good at? And then like a bunch of white people stared at the camera where they were like, abandoning their children, doing crimes, wearing their pants down below. It's like, okay, whoa. But like, we know that that's really dumb, but it's not just dumb because it's racist. It's dumb because it's inherently essentialist framing. Black people aren't good at that, and white people aren't good at colonization. What the f does that mean? What about white people makes them good at colonization? It's not as though all the different tribes and civilizations of Africa weren't fucking killing each other for thousands of years before the transatlantic slave trade happened. We're currently the ones doing the most colonization. But what is that? Is that like a racial archetype? Do we have like a +2 bonus to it? I hate the question because it's essentialist. It isn't about white people. What they're talking about is whiteness, the cultural effect and history of white supremacy. But that's not a people thing. That's a system thing. You can't transpose criticisms of people and of systems. You get into these essentialist problems. It's okay to essentialize systems. That's fine. It's a system, not people.